Welcome to this video in our series, A Beginner's Guide to the C Programming Language. In the last video, we looked at debuggers and how they help programmers to find runtime errors in their code. In this video, we'll cover a few miscellaneous topics that we need to know before we start with the core C program statements and constructs. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to our channel for more. The topics we will cover are enums, which are enumeration data types. We will discuss how to declare and use enums. We will also discuss typedefs, which are used to declare user-defined data types that help you create your own data types composed of basic and derived data types. Finally, we will see how to pass command line arguments to a C program, how the function main gets them, and how they should be processed. An enum or an enumeration is a user-defined data type in C, consisting of a set of named integer constants. So if you have a variable that stores a set of data like colors, status codes, countries, etc., where each color can be assigned a value, example, black is 0, red is 10, etc., you can use an enum to declare such an enumeration type. An enum makes your program more easy to understand because it gives symbolic labels to these constant values. Here is how it works. You declare an enum colors with the name of the colors in curly braces. Then you can declare a variable of type enum colors as enum colors background color and initialize it with black. Now when you declare enum colors, each color is given a numeric integer value. Here black is 0, blue is 1, green is 2, and so on. When you declare an enum variable background color and initialize it with black, you are declaring an integer variable and initializing it with 0 because 0 is the value of black in the enumeration. You need not have values starting from 0 and incrementing to the right in an enumeration list. Any constant can be initialized with an integer value by assigning it a value as shown in example 1. If the next item is not initialized, it will save an incremented value of the previous item. So in the example 2, blue will have a value 6 and green will have a value of 7. Enums are very useful to declare variables that have named constant values. They help in the readability and maintainability of programs. Let us now look at typedefs. You use a typedef keyword to create a user-friendly name to a data type. For example, if you want to use the type uint instead of a longer type name unsigned int, you can use the typedef to create a new type name using the typedef. As shown here, the typedef is used to create a new type name called uint. This is then used to declare variables as shown in the following statements. Note that you will use typedefs to create readable type names for long variable type names. We will see more examples of these in our later sessions. Finally, let's have a look at command line arguments. In the earlier videos, we talked about how a console application is loaded by the operating system in memory and a startup routine is executed. One of the tasks that the startup routine performs is to gather the command line arguments passed in the program and sends it as arguments to the function main. So when you execute a program from the command line of the operating system in the console, you will do so by entering the program's executable file name, followed by arguments separated by spaces. When the program is loaded into memory for execution, each of these strings are copied and stored in memory. The function main then receives these arguments in two variables. The first argument is the number of arguments passed, that is, the argument count. This will have a value of at least 1. The second argument is an array of argument values which are strings, each string containing each argument that is passed. As shown here, there will be at least one argument passed. This is the program name. The remaining arguments are passed as strings. Here you can see each argument displayed in the order they are stored in the character array parameter. Note that each argument is a string and we need to convert the values into integer or float data types if we want to perform any numeric operations on them. Now let's see how it works. In the example shown here, we have declared two enums. The first enum is an enum errors, which has three enumerated values: warning, error, and fatal. These have values 0, 1, and 2 respectively. The second enum is an enum colors, which has different color names from white to black. Each of these enumerated values are initialized with a constant value. We then have used the typedef keyword to create a new type name called color values in line 6. In the function main, we declare two variables. First, we create a variable of type enum errorval and initialize it to warning. As you can see, it has been initialized with a value of 0. The second variable is the variable C, which has type color values, which is our typedef name. In the statement below, we will initialize C to a num colors value, depending on the value of errorval. As you can see in the first run of the program, we have initialized errorval to fatal, so the color is set accordingly. Then we execute the statement again with an errorval of warning and execute the program. The color val is set accordingly. Finally, let's check how command line arguments work. In our program, we are displaying the number of arguments passed to the command line. Then we have a loop, which we will discuss in a later video. But here, the loop displays the value of each command line argument that is passed to the function main. Let us spend some time on this part of the program. The printf statement prints two values. The first is the argument number, and the second is the string value of the argument data. The loop starts with the number of arguments passed. Since it is not 0, it is treated as logical true, so the printf statement is executed. The printf statement takes two argument values after the format string. The first is argc, the second is argv in brackets minus minus argc. In this statement, the first operation to be executed is the pre-decrement operation. So argc is decremented by 1. Then the new value of argc is passed to printf as well as the value of the last argument data passed to the function main. This happens in a loop. The loop continues till argc becomes equal to 0. This is now treated as false. So the loop will exit and quit the program. Let's execute the same in the command line. As we have seen, we have passed multiple arguments from the command line. The program prints them in the reverse order. We have reached the end of our discussion on enums, typedefs, and command line arguments. Thank you for joining us. Please share and like this video and follow our channel. In the next video, we will look at storage classes in C and how you as a programmer can control the lifetime and visibility of variables. This is a very important concept to understand. We will see you then.